Yo, YouTube, what up? Today we got another crime documentary, man. My bread and butter, man. I went straight to the LCBO, got me some Ray and Nuffy, some Appleton. And I said, let's watch a documentary today because it's been at least 2 weeks since I posted one. Let's get it.
Canada's biggest city. And in suburbs around Toronto, black boys are going missing.
They are 13, 14, 15, going on 16. They are children.
When a mother breaks down on the phone with you and cries because her son is missing, it's not easy. It's not easy.
We investigate how young boys are exploited by street gangs, luring them into a world that can turn deadly.
When it comes to being in the streets, it's a losing game. Nobody's ever won. It's either death or in jail.
And we hear from a Toronto rapper, now in prison, about his involvement in gang life and his influence on black youth.
Don't you think you have also contributed to that glamorizing of the gangster life?
1,000%. I know this is a life that could ruin their lives.
And it's not just in Toronto.
We're in Thunder Bay, Ontario, some 1,400 kilometers from Toronto. So why are so many teenage boys from the big city, some as young as 14, ending up here selling drugs for organized crime?
But I don't think they really know what they're getting into when they come up here.
There's availability for you to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in this industry.
And we follow some parents race against time to find their lost boys.
Like when my son's missing, I'm just looking for my son. I just want my son back, and I'm not leaving until I get him back.
Did you think your son was in danger?
Oh, while he was missing, 100%.
There's a growing fear across Ontario as black boys are disappearing from their homes. Like all teens, they're seeking status, belonging. However, black boys face greater obstacles. They're more likely to be suspended from school, stopped and searched by police, and face greater challenges getting a job.
Wow.
Which can lead some to making it.
Let me find out they're spitting real facts in this shit. Let me find out they're keeping it a buck.
A choice that could change their lives forever.
We have a serious problem in Ontario. There has been a very disturbing amount of young black males that have gone missing.
December 2024, digital journalist Emma Ansa amplified what had only been whispered about, turning it into a cry for help.
The ages for the vast majority of them are between 15 and 16 years old. This is a problem. What are the police doing? Where are these young boys? Why are they all missing?
The faces of 5 missing boys from the Toronto area were posted on social media. Their disappearances unrelated, but similarly suspicious. Boys who walked out of their homes and away from their families.
Viral videos sound the alarm on several missing black boys across the GTA, acting as a catalyst for change.
Listen, we have an update on the missing black boys in the Toronto area to tell you about.
A staggering amount of black boys have gone missing. There's a serious problem happening in Toronto.
Of course, many people still feel very uneasy about why this is happening.
Media producer Shane McCullough felt the boys hadn't only disappeared, they'd been forgotten.
We're going to talk about systemic failures and holding people accountable, and we're no longer staying silent as a community.
So she created a community on Instagram called Find Ontario's Missing Boys. And she launched an online petition to get more media attention and pressure police to step up their search for the boys.
Listen, I'm totally out of the loop. I didn't realize this was such a problem. Bro, kids going to trap houses, it's been happening for so long. It's been promoting in the music. It's been promoted in music. I mean, I said music twice. I'm fucking drunk. It's been promoted in movies, TV shows that I convinced myself it's regular, but it's really fucked up.
McCullough was the catalyst for community town halls, drawing attention to parents' fears their boys were being enticed to make money running drugs for street gangs. In 2024, 322 male youth were reported missing to the Toronto police. 151 were black boys, that's nearly half, though black people make up less than 10% of Toronto's population.
Wow.
The Toronto Police Service says almost all kids reported missing are eventually found.
That's what I was literally about to say. Like, they're only going missing for 2 weeks, broski. They're coming back with no money too, because they're getting snaked by the people that are convincing them to go there. It's a normal thing to get a young boy to come trap for you. I'm saying it's normal because I have a lack of better words, but like, we been knew this.
But over months investigating this story, the Fifth Estate has seen boys continue to disappear, leaving parents desperate for help. So what's pulling the boys away from school, sports, and their friends? One man desperate for answers is a father we're calling Cameron. His son, who we're calling Alex, first went missing in 2023 at the age of 14. For legal reasons, we're concealing their identities and altering his voice. What happened in this gym?
Both my boys played basketball here on Saturdays. I also remember we were racing. I remember racing from one end to the next. He has an older sister and an older brother. And we were close-knit.
Cameron now remembers red flags when Alex was in grade 8, kids that weren't students showing up at his son's school.
At times when I would pick up from school, you would see that there were older kids there, right, that were just hanging around, etc. Right, so that was a concern.
One night that summer, Alex didn't come home. He vanished for 3 days.
We were terrified. We would look, all over to see where he was, call his phone. There'll be no response with the phone.
Cameron scoured the neighborhood, contacted other parents. He eventually found Alex at an older boy's home.
What we feel happened was that those boys were going to take off.
Cameron brought Alex home, but weeks later he disappeared again, this time for over 2 months.
Holy
And when you told the
smokes.
police he was missing, how did the police respond?
They did respond. They asked a lot of questions. They asked him where he frequents. They said they would look around those areas.
Police issued a missing persons alert, but when Alex was found in Orillia, an hour north of Toronto, it was in what's called a trap house where illegal drugs are sold. He was with adults. They were all arrested.
We were shocked, angry. How does a 14-year-old boy get to Orillia? I had no ID, no money. So you would think that, you know, someone had to lure him there or take him there.
Cameron brought him home again, got him back into school. But while he was on house arrest, he disappeared again.
What the?
He was missing for...
Yo, are we really just blaming the guys that are taking these guys OT, or are we blaming the parents? How the fuck is he on house arrest going missing again? What are you guys doing? What the fuck?
11 months.
11 months?
In grade 9.
Rascal. Yo, nobody. He went OT for 11 months? That is insane. That's a long time,
I
bro.
can't imagine.
11 months? Nah, that's not normal.
My family, we were at a dead end, right? We didn't know where to go.
Shayna McCullough met with officers in Durham Region, east of Toronto, home to many of the missing boys. Her message? The black community is watching, and these parents need answers.
I just want to know why I'm not seeing our boys being located faster and not spending 10 months in the possession of human traffickers, essentially, or criminal organizations. Like, how does that relate to these boys actually coming home?
All 5 boys were eventually found. As for Cameron's son, he was arrested in Sarnia, more than 300 kilometers from his home. Alex was tasered while running out of this house. Police later turned up cash, drugs, and a loaded handgun.
Wow.
You said when you hung up from the phone call with the police, you said you were angry. Who were you angry at?
I was angry at the people that had my son, the people that I considered predators.
We've learned more about where the luring may lead. A YouTube video surfaced last year, glamorizing and normalizing selling drugs in a trap house in Sarnia.
Show the camera to dog shit, man.
This may be appealing to some young kids, but for the men in this video, it was anything but. After the video was posted, 4 men were arrested and charged by the Sarnia police.
They are children. They are 13.
Bro, that's so crazy. Because Bubba, that's Bubba they just showed. That's Jacques the Block. And that's his broski Riley. I did a reaction to that same video. That same video they're showing of Bubba in this trap house that got them arrested. I did a reaction to this, bro. That is yo, this is a full circle moment. This is the reason I even watched this documentary. Shout out to Mozzie XO. He sent me this video, bro.
This may be appealing to some young kids, but for the men in this video, it was anything but. After the video was posted, 4 men were arrested and charged by the Sarnia police.
They are children. They are 13, 14, 15, going on 16. They are children. The common thread between these boys is that they were all found in remote towns, such as Thunder Bay, Orillia, Sarnia. And this doesn't happen overnight, right? They work on these children. They target them. They look for children that they feel are more vulnerable, who are more likely to follow them. And they groom them into the drug trade.
O'Shea Stewart remembers when the devil was at his door, he was also influenced by gangs. Now he's a specialized school counselor in the GTA, where in 2023, a quarter of suspended students in the public school board were black youth.
Do you think that black kids are more vulnerable?
Definitely. I would say anybody in a marginalized community is more vulnerable, right? I've had the chance to work with, kids outside of being black, and I've seen how they get sucked into the life too as well.
Explain to me what the attraction is like for a young man who sees the money, who sees the influence, who sees the power that you can get if you run with these gangs.
Well, it's hard, right? You want to belong. You want to belong somewhere. You want to be respected. And unfortunately, if you're not a basketball player, an athlete, or, the cool guy, it's kind of easy to place yourself within these circles.
Stewart says when the gangs take the boys out of town to sell their drugs, it's called going OT.
And what was the temptation, especially for 14, 15-year-old boys to go OT, to go to another town and start selling drugs for somebody?
The more money you make defines how much of, a man you are, apparently.
Bro, this is probably one of the craziest videos I'm gonna react to, bro, because everything is facts. Everything is facts, bro. It's easy to fall victim to trying to be a trapper, trying to go OT, trying to get money. It's so glorified in the black community, bro. It's insane. And I can't even speak because, broski, I'm reacting to niggas that make videos about trapping, that make videos about, making money, going OT, bringing the young boys. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro.
Money is always a cool thing.
So masculinity ends up being a bit of a driving force in all this.
For sure. You see it in social media, right? If you're not making this amount of money, then you're a nobody. So money almost builds confidence.
The Fifth Estate spoke with several families of boys that have gone OT to learn how the recruiting process works. We've learned that some boys are told about an opportunity from a friend or are approached directly by an older male. Some boys...
Man just got back from OT. It was proper. I just came back with 10 bands. I'll link you. 10 bands? Yo, most of these young boys are not coming back with 10 bands. I'll tell you that.
We're told they can make big money, $10,000 to $30,000 within a couple of weeks.
That's a lie.
One source told us boys are instructed to pack plastic bags for drugs, rubber bands for cash. They're sent to a meeting spot, then transported to a trap house.
And once they're recruited, I mean, is it your feeling that it's almost going to be a pretty much direct pipeline to prison?
Usually, yeah, it's to prison or to death, right? There's no other positive options, right?
Imagine this. A young teenager boards a bus for a one-way trip from Toronto to Thunder Bay, a city he doesn't know. The trip takes about 24 hours. It's a milk run with stops in Sudbury and the Sioux. These boys are enticed with the prospect of making quick cash, but it comes at a steep personal price. Most don't know where they'll be staying, the risks they'll be taking, or when they'll make it back home.
You're bringing kids from Ajax and Pickering and Whippy and bringing them to Thunder Bay to sell drugs?
I'm at a high school to meet a father we're calling Marcus. We're concealing his identity and altering his voice to protect his family from criminal retribution. In April 2022, his 16-year-old son went missing.
Tell me about your son.
He's a very caring youth. He's always been like that. Very outgoing personality, loving kid.
Tell me about the day your son went missing.
Bro, don't lie on your kid. He went OT. No matter what you say about the narratives and the influence, I never went OT. I was a good kid. Cut it out, bro. Your kid wasn't a good kid, bro. He wanted to go sell drugs. Cut it out.
So it was the week before Easter long weekend. And I'm pretty sure it was Monday.
And I want to add, bro, this is all by choice, mind you. These kids are not getting... All the kids that went OT to sell drugs are not getting forced. They're not getting a gun put to their head. They're getting influenced and manipulated. 100%. Guaranteed. But if you're doing your job as a parent and you're letting them know about the dangers of this shit before the older heads get to you and manipulate them, they're not gonna go. Because all of my friends, I've grew up in the same neighborhoods. I know niggas that went OT. Their parents weren't in their lives. That's why they went OT. Their parents weren't teaching them about this stuff, the dangers about this stuff. It's all about what the parents are doing, bro. Not every black kid goes OT. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100, bro.
Up, and he was just gone. Just to a note in his room that said something along the lines like, "Oh, I feel really stressed out, and I'm gonna spend a few days by my friend's house downtown."
You didn't believe that?
No, I didn't believe it.
So Marcus called the Durham Regional Police. They were able to trace his son's last cell phone signal to Thunder Bay.
When we heard that Thursday evening, we basically decided that we're going to Thunder Bay.
You're wading right into what could be a pretty dangerous situation. Were you concerned about your own safety?
I had concerns. I wasn't naive into the situation. I kind of know how to maneuver in the streets.
The next morning, Marcus and his wife drove 16 hours, the same 1,400-kilometer route they believed their son had taken just days earlier.
I pretty much thought in my head, these guys aren't that smart. They ain't smarter than me, and I'm going to be able to figure it out and find it.
Listen, W father, 99.9% of parents don't give a fuck as much as this guy right here. To go OT and go find your son, these parents are saying, yo, fuck that kid, man. They're gonna, you know what they're gonna tell their kid? If you go to jail, don't call me. If you get locked up, I'm not paying your bill. That's what a lot of the fucking parents are saying. I'll tell you that for free.
Thunder Bay, long known as a strategic shipping and rail hub on the shore of Lake Superior. Also known now as a major illegal drug hub. Thunder Bay police say members of as many as 20 street gangs from the Toronto area are selling drugs in town. It's a lucrative market where drugs can be sold at peak profits.
We're a long way from Toronto here.
Long way.
Constable Jeff Saunders is the main officer handling missing persons cases for the Thunder Bay Police.
I'm a one-man person with two other guys that are linked to me right now. We go out and we knock on doors.
25 years on the force, Saunders has seen a spike in boys from the GTA brought here. He met with Marcus when he came looking for his son.
I think it was 2022 when we first started seeing the missing youth coming from the Toronto area.
When a family contacts you, so look, we're coming to town, we believe our son is in your community, we need your help.
Yep.
What do you do?
If a family has traveled 16 hours to come up here, we're gonna help them. I would do the same thing in a heartbeat.
Saunders says when missing posters go up and parents and police start knocking on doors, kids often surface.
When you put the heat on these different areas, the drug dealers, they don't want that.
The key then is if you create enough heat around this kid, that it's a strong likelihood that they may say, you're becoming more trouble than
Absolutely. But I don't think they really know what they're getting into when they come up here. Yeah.
What they're getting into is a dangerous game. Take a look. This is security footage of a shootout in a Thunder Bay parking lot back in 2023. A 20-year-old Toronto man is firing his pistol at two boys and a woman. The boys from Toronto, just 15 and 16 years old.
I think they're using these kids because of their age, basically. They're underage, and they know that if they get caught with the drugs, it's not going to be as steep as if it's an adult, right?
Do you think it's possible that there's a kid from the GTA in this building?
Absolutely. This particular building, there's been a couple of youth from the GTA found, or at least seen on the video surveillance cameras here.
At some point.
The boys are kept out of sight, behind closed doors. Often the only people who see them are the ones buying drugs. In our investigation, we met Jackie Livingston, a community housing manager. She sees boys from the GTA being hidden in the apartments she manages. If a resident has a drug debt, she says the gangs take over their homes, then turn them into trap houses, where the boys work.
As soon as those kids are gone, more will come in. That's the way this whole thing works. It's, you know, and there's real hierarchy in it. I don't know how we stop it. We know that they're not from here. The little ones or the younger ones are pretty quiet most of the time. You know, they're just trying to, I think, you know, stay under the radar.
As we investigate this story, the term trap house has come up time and time again, and that's a property that's used by the teens to sell drugs. Now, we've heard about them, but we've never seen one. We've been given access to this property. It used to be a family dwelling, taken over by drug gangs. So for the glamorous life promised to the teens, this is where they end up.
Bro, they know.
Days prior, this was a den for
I won't
dealers.
lie to you, bro. I feel like they're kind of spreading the narrative that the kids don't know what they're getting into. They know exactly what they're getting into, bro. You can go watch a lot of music videos from the trappers that make music, and they're showing the exact lifestyle that they're living. They're showing the fucking crackheads in a dirty ass house with cigarette butts and beers and all this shit writing on the walls. These kids know what they're getting into. They want to do it for their stripes, bro. They don't know the value of their lives yet. You know what I'm saying? They don't know they're worth so much more than this shit. They know what they're getting into, bro.
This sign, T-Bay Hustler 807, graffiti glorifying this town's area code. Drug paraphernalia scattered on tables. Soiled mattresses pushed up against walls. Remnants of a family's shattered life are everywhere. We're told a family of 4 once lived here, but the parents got hooked on fentanyl, and eventually their 2 children, both under 12, were taken away.
Holy moly.
Thunder Bay has the highest per capita rate of opioid overdose deaths in Ontario. It's now 7 times the provincial average. In 2024, 80 people died. And that's why it's such a target for Toronto drug gangs. A toxic mix of money, drugs, and death.
Do you see this as human trafficking?
I do. Honestly, I do, because they're working, selling, distributing drugs, and they're underage. They have no idea really of the repercussions other than whatever lifestyle they've been promised by these different people that are bringing them up here.
Jeremy Pearson is Thunder Bay's deputy chief of police. He says the boys are at the bottom of the gang hierarchy, but are being asked to take the greatest risks.
There are questions to be asked about how youth become involved in crime. Is there a draw? Is there a coercion? Is there an exploitation?
The families we've spoken to say that they came up here because it's an act of desperation. Their frustration is, why are we doing this? Why aren't the police finding our kids? Do you understand that frustration?
I don't discredit the feelings of families. They are frustrated, they are concerned, they're scared, quite frankly.
The deputy chief says the boys are often scared too. Staying hidden for them is staying safe.
There's a tremendous amount of fear attached to this lifestyle. There's a tremendous amount of intimidation that goes with the violence, that goes with the guns, that goes with the money and power. What it takes to get someone who is in that place safe enough, that they feel safe enough to disclose what's really happening, it's a monumental challenge. When we're talking about essentially victims of human trafficking.
Yeah. Which is why Marcus was racing to find his son, knowing it wouldn't be easy.
They know they can't be seen outside. They don't go outside, period. They don't go to pick food up. They don't go to restaurants. They don't travel in Ubers. They don't take cab rides. They don't go on the bus. They don't go outside. So this is what I found out the hard way.
And then Marcus caught a break, following a food delivery man into an apartment known for drug dealing.
And then I heard a voice in the back of the apartment saying, "I seen your son." I said, "Buddy, I'm not trying to bring no heat to your spot. I just need to find my son before the police find my son, before something bad happens to him." And he told me straight up, he goes, "Man, your son doesn't know how lucky he has it to have a dad that came out here to look for him like that."
Bro, this guy is a fucking legend, eh? If I seen him, I'll shake his hand. I never heard of a parent going OT to look for their son. I never heard of that. And he actually found him?
The stakes of that search, now 3 years on, still weigh on him. Marcus knew in that moment he was close to either finding his son or maybe losing him forever.
Oh, you didn't find
Say,
him?
just give me my son back, and that's it. Drop him off somewhere. Let me go pick him up. I don't even need to see you. I don't need to see anything, right?
Acting on a hunch, Marcus headed to the Thunder Bay bus station, where the overnight run to Toronto would soon be leaving. Then he saw his son getting out of a car.
So he walks to the door. He gets like he's almost gonna pull the door open. And I walk around the corner. I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Dad, I didn't know you were here." I go, "What did you think?" And then he gave me a big hug.
How did your son get involved with this network?
That I do not know. That's what he's not willing to share, right? No matter how many times I ask him.
Silence is their key to survival. The boys' role is to serve the gangs, not sell them out.
Don't say anything, keep your mouth closed, no problem. We're gonna take care of you. You're gonna make all this money, you're not gonna get caught. This is the dream, the pipe dream that they sell them.
Coming up, we travel to Northern Ontario, where boys are being moved into First Nations reserves and deeper into danger.
Oh my God, yo, this the shit I be reacting to when I listen to these niggas' music, bro. That's crazy.
They don't even have vehicles when they're here, so they're dropped off by somebody.
Brampton, Ontario is one of Canada's fastest growing cities. More than 800,000 residents, with 80% of the population racialized, primarily South Asian and Black. It's also a target for gangs grooming boys, luring them into dangerous territory. O'Shea Stewart, the school youth worker, says 4 of his students have died after going OT. He contacted us after learning another student from Brampton and just 15 years old had been arrested in Northern Ontario, charged with second-degree murder. Shooting took place in Ganoogaming First Nation, an Anishinaabe community in Northern Ontario. It's a 12-hour drive north on the Trans-Canada Highway from Brampton, a long trip for a 15-year-old. He was arrested with an 18-year-old, also from Brampton. So we headed to Ganoogaming looking for answers. We flew into Thunder Bay and still had another 3.5-hour drive to get to the reserve. It's a small community, about 200 residents. But if there's money to be made, gangs will go this far to set up a trap house. Sherry Taylor is the chief of the Ganoogaming First Nation. She says her community is being crippled by a crisis of gangs, guns, and a steady flow of illicit drugs.
You're the chief. What the fuck are you doing? You're the chief.
That crisis came to a head with the boys from Brampton getting into a gunfight at a trap house.
See that home that's boarded up? That's the home they found them.
The green one?
That little house, yeah.
We don't have all the details about what happened that night, but here's what we've been able to determine. It's believed the teenagers from Brampton were using this house to sell drugs. That's when they were approached by 2 men from the community. A dispute ensued, shots rang out. 1 man was killed, the other badly wounded. And that's when the boys from Brampton ran for their lives.
Police told residents to shelter in place while searching for the 2 suspects. Chief Taylor then declared a state of emergency.
We're looking for more supports, boots on the ground, more police presence. You know how big my community is. I have maybe 90 homes in the community. We all know each other, and yet I can sit here and say to my community, I don't know if I can keep you safe.
Hold on,
when that happens.
Let me wheel that a little bit. She said there's 90 homes. So you mean to tell me there's only 90 homes, 200 residents, and you don't know that there's a fucking trap house that your 200 residents are going to buy drugs from? What the fuck? Isn't it your job to snitch? You're supposed to be the community snitch. What is she doing? We need to spread out the accountability. We need to spread it out to the parents, the leaders of the community, not just the people that are in the trap house. The addicts, we need to spread it out. The government, the police, everyone needs to take responsibility, bro. We're not going to put it all on the trappers, bro. That is unfair. Without the fiends, there's no trappers, bro. Without niggas taking drugs, there's no trappers.
90 homes in the community. We all know each other, and yet I can sit here and say to my community, I don't know if I can keep you safe when that happens. And how am I, as a leader, that's my job.
And how are you feeling today about that?
Martha Taylor lives next door to where the shooting took place. She's seen young boys operating out of that house for months.
Too much, way too much. I reported, called the cops, took place.
If you see one black kid in a reserve, you know what the fuck he's there for.
Plate numbers, nothing ever happened.
That's why the police be capped too. You see some black niggas wearing Amiri jeans and fucking Jordan 12s in Thunder Bay, they're selling crack. I know some young boys that when they go OT, they get searched 3 times a day because what the fuck are you guys doing out here?
And what's been going on over there?
People going in and out, young kids, like 12, 13, 14 years old. Not only from this reserve, but from the other reserve too.
Victor Chappies is an elder in Ganoogaming. His nephew was killed in the shootout. He wonders why police didn't intervene sooner.
We're not the big picture in the police eyes. These kids that come in, they're not really high priority.
What did his nephew have to do to get into a shootout with some trappers? I'm not gonna put my fucking judgment on it. Why is your nephew getting into a shootout with niggas who are selling fentanyl and crack cocaine? What involvement did your nephew have? Huh? Why does your nephew have a gun shooting at underage black boys selling drugs? Huh?
Off our reserve, right? Because of the bigger picture.
What do you think about the fact that these boys, these teenagers who came here, one was 15, one was 18 years old. They're just kids.
They come here and they see money. They don't see us as people. They just away.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck today. It's the Canadian government that got these natives addicted to drugs. Let's keep it a buck. It's the Canadians, the quote unquote, because these are the real Canadians. It's the quote unquote Canadians, the government that got these niggas addicted to alcohol, crack, fentanyl, all this shit. It's the government. They stole their land and traded them alcohol for fur and different shit, and they've been cooked ever since. It's the government's fault, bro.
For them,
100%.
to make money.
After a 2-day search, the teenagers were found and arrested by the Ontario Provincial Police. Unofficial images then surfaced on X, formerly Twitter. We tried to contact the mother of the 15-year-old boy to understand how he ended up here. She didn't respond. So we went to track down the man who survived the shooting. We were told he was recovering from multiple gunshot wounds in a Thunder Bay hotel. So we went there and waited for hours until a man in a wheelchair showed up in the lobby. His name is Earl Taylor.
What did you know about these kids?
I just know that they're selling drugs, that's all.
What do you think of that?
I think it's not cool for them to come all the way over here to sell their drugs over here.
Taylor says the boys were selling drugs to his sister and his nephew, and if the police wouldn't stop them from dealing on the reserve, he would.
You were shot in your leg? Were you shot anywhere else?
Yeah, in stomach, yeah.
How many times were you shot?
5 times with a handgun and once with the 12 gauge.
You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Tensions had been mounting on the reserve for months. Chief Taylor shared this picture from the summer. Boys driven in, dropped off to sell drugs, and left to fend for themselves. In the past 3 years, 6 black teen boys have been arrested with adults for gun and drug crimes on First Nations reserves. This is Ontario's largest youth jail, the Roy McMurtry Centre in Brampton, known simply as the Roy. Boys between the ages of 12 to 17 are detained here. Management says that includes a significant number of gang-affiliated youth. A report by the Federal Justice Department says that gang label often leads to poorer treatment and poorer outcomes for kids in custody.
What started you down the path to even enter the
Jordana Goldlist has 15 years experience as a criminal defense lawyer, but she began her journey in the justice system as a homeless drug addict behind bars.
I was 16 years old with no one to bail me out. And so I ended up at the Vanier Correction Center, where I spent 4 days in solitary confinement.
Goldlist often gets the call when boys are arrested. She says some get her number from the gangs who recruited them.
I mean, this morning alone, I got calls from Thunder Bay, North Bay, and Sarnia. And it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Goldlist says when the boys first appear in court, a harsh reality sets in.
We hear some of the most disgusting things in bail hearings. I've had a justice of the peace say, we're tired of you people coming to our city to sell drugs.
What impact does that have for these kids?
Well, they hear that, and it's horrific. It's obviously racist. It's horrific. And I think this is how I'm going to be treated by the justice system, because now they're looked at as expendable in the justice system as they are in the drug network.
I react to music and crime documentaries. This shit is not new information if you listen to rap music in Toronto. If you just sit there and listen to 15, 20 Toronto rap songs, they said everything. I'm not going to say no names. Niggas said every fucking thing that I just heard in the last 30 minutes. They're not hiding this shit. They're talking about it openly.
Back on the roads, free the dogs. I was locked in my cell, reading songs.
Brian Harrington, known as Bizloke, seen here in a profile by Toronto rappers. He was sentenced to 10 years on drug and weapons charges. He posted this music video from jail.
Said I just want to touch the road again. I'm by myself, I'm all alone again.
He's serving his sentence at the Atlantic Institution in Renouse, New Brunswick. He agreed to speak to the Fifth Estate about his own path to prison.
I was reading an interview with you where you referred to yourself at one point as a good kid that turned evil. Tell us when things took a turn for you.
I never really followed nobody into the life. It was more so something that I just kind of grew up in. I was in something before I even realized it. Subconsciously, I probably wanted to be a part of it, just trying to belong. Nobody's really comfortable being broke, you know, and that's probably what kind of led me to criminal activity.
What age were you at that point?
I was probably like 12, 13, 14.
What do you say to those boys who think that they have to earn their stripes by doing this, by spending time in youth detention?
I think that's bullshit. You go to jail to prove yourself. No, I know that this is a path of destruction, and if seldom ends well.
Do you have regrets about the decisions you made?
1,000%. 1,000%. I have bare dead homies tatted all over my skin. They have nothing to show for the life that they lived. They have nothing to show for this gang shit that we all represented. You know, their moms couldn't even afford their funerals. Is this something that the kids then wanted to chase after? This is nothing to be proud of. I'm proud that I'm still alive. I'm not proud that I'm involved in this life.
100%. Imagine going OT, flexing 30, 50 bands in the video, and when you die, your mom is fucking broke as shit. She's making a GoFundMe trying to pay for your funeral. I honestly didn't want to react to this because I knew it was gonna hit me. You know what I'm saying? This is
Harrington's
fucked,
story
fam.
highlights the...
You know how much family members I know that went to jail on this shit? This shit is fucking stupid, bro.
Socioeconomic challenges for boys looking for opportunities when options are limited. Challenges that are still present today. This is a job line for a fast food restaurant in Oshawa, posted on Reddit in 2024. Hundreds of young people looking for work. The national unemployment rate for black boys is 26%, more than twice that of non-racialized boys.
If you've got a 15 or 16-year-old guy that can't even get a job at a Tim Hortons, can't get a job, you know, anywhere, and he's being offered $500 a day, that seems like a lot of money for him.
Just how lucrative is this business in
That is
Ontario?
a lot of money.
I had a client once who told me that he had traps throughout Sarnia and Windsor and London that were each turning a profit of $80,000 a day.
But the father we're calling Marcus, who rescued his son from a trap house in Thunder Bay, says the boys are victims, exploited by knowing adults.
Don't use my kid to do your dirty work, right? Do it yourself. You're an adult. If they see this, I have a message for them. You guys are cowards. Using people's children to do your own dirty work. You want to sell drugs. You want to do this. You're a man. You know the consequences. You know the laws. You know what it is. Do it yourself.
As for Shayna McCullough, who's been advocating to find Ontario's missing boys, her message is for police.
I think that anybody who's caught in a room with drugs and weapons with a 15, 14-year-old boy should be charged with human trafficking. And there should be some type of programs in place that treat these boys like victims and not as criminals.
We contacted the Toronto Police Service to ask what...
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and act like these... Even if you're 12, brother, when I was 12, I knew what the fuck the trap was. I knew what the fuck the OT was. I knew what fiends were. I knew what everything was. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, eh? I'm not doing that on my channel. I knew what the fuck the trap was. And I said, you know what I said? If I don't get money doing something else, by the time I'm this age, I'm going out there. But I ended up getting money doing other shit. I don't give
adults
a fuck
aren't
what
being
they're
charged with
talking
human
about.
trafficking when they're
We're not
arrested with
doing
minors.
that, bro.
They said to lay a human trafficking charge, police must have evidence that an adult exercised control, direction, or influence over the youth for the purpose of exploitation. And that means...
That is the definition of trafficking. They need to get trafficking charges. I changed my mind. They convinced me already.
Control, direction, or influence over the youth for the purpose of exploitation. And that means the boys would have to testify in court against the gang leaders.
That's never gonna happen. Let's keep it a buck. Let's just put it into perspective, right? So you're telling me the whole reason they're going to jail is for the reputation, for the clout, for the status, and you think they're gonna go testify on the niggas after they get booked? Nigga, you said yourself. They need to go to jail to get the rep. That's what you're telling Biz Loke in jail. I heard the phone call. I don't need to fucking go back because I remember. So you think they're going to give away all the rep they just built up like you said they were and snitch on the nigga that put them there? Yeah, right. They need to find a new way. That's never going to happen. Bro, I hate how the narrative is. They don't know it's life. It's jail or death. Nigga, they know it's jail or death. They're going into it expecting jail or death. And they're hoping jail instead of death. They're ready to kill a nigga to not get death.
And invest in them instead.
Am I bugging?
And you provided proper education, employment training, addressed intergenerational trauma. If you put basketball courts back into community housing, if you restarted breakfast programs so the kids weren't going to school hungry. If you set a kid up before the age of 12, would you eradicate it completely? I don't think so, but I think you would see a significant dent.
You would. You'd see a significant
O'Shea
dent.
Stewart agrees the boys need more resources.
But it don't matter. I know niggas that had everything. They still want to go OT. Are you nuts? Their kids, their parents are driving a C63, nigga, and they still want to go OT. It's not about that. It's about the rap music. It's about having more money than everyone else. It's not about being broke. Are you kidding? Yo, the brokest kids never went OT, bro. Are you kidding me? The brokest kids got a job. The kids that had a mom that would spend all their money on designer are the ones that went OT because they want to keep up that designer lifestyle. I'm keeping it a buck. If you don't like it, go unsubscribe, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Facts, nigga. Oh, this shit's over? I won't lie. This is a W fucking video, man. I'm out, man. I'm fucking out, brody. Let me watch this back and see if I was bugging off the liquor, man.